So here's a bit of a shocker. This originally reported in Daily Mail. This is from Gateway Pundit. It says, report Ghislaine Maxwell ready to testify before Congress. Could blow lid off Epstein files and elite pedophile network. Convicted sex trafficker Ghislaine Maxwell is reportedly ready and willing to testify before the U.S. Congress about the full extent of Jeffrey Epstein's criminal empire and the powerful men who participated in it. According to a Daily Mail report, Maxwell, 63, has not been offered a plea deal, nor has she been contacted by any U.S. officials about providing testimony, something she would repeatedly or reportedly welcome. Isn't that interesting that they haven't had her testify in front of Congress? You would think they would. You would think they'd want to know about. Isn't that something? You'd think they'd want her to. Nope, but they don't. That's the interesting thing.
Yes, because how many people in Congress
are right.
compromised?
No one from the government has ever asked her. She would be more than happy to sit before Congress and tell her story, a source close to Maxwell told the Daily Mail. No one from the government has ever asked her. She remains the only person jailed in connection to Epstein and would welcome the chance to tell the American public the truth. Maxwell is currently serving a 20-year sentence in Tallahassee State Prison in Florida for her role in grooming and trafficking underage girls for Epstein and his network of high-powered friends, which included billionaires, politicians, academics, and royalty. Yet to date, not a single Epstein client has been charged. The client was Israel. All those other people were the marks. So that's they weren't clients, they were the marks that Epstein and the Mossad and Israel targeted so they could get blackmail on them and so they can control them. That's what that was. Earlier this year, Maxwell asked the U.S. Supreme Court to hear her appeal against a 2021 conviction on 5 counts of aiding convicted pedophile Jeffrey Epstein and his sexual abuse of young girls. The source said congressional hearings. So, Kurt, we're talking about how Ghislaine Maxwell says she wants to testify in front of Congress, but nobody in Congress is asking her. Isn't that interesting, Kurt?
Does she want to die? Is she trying to get killed?
The source said congressional hearings have been held into everything from JFK's assassination to 9/11. The Epstein files rank up there with those cases. Ghislaine would be willing to speak before Congress and tell her story. She's so that's the story there.
Will Maureen Comey be there to make sure there's no reporting, so we don't know what went on in the what goes on in it? Because that's my guess. I have a question. Since even I know, there's no way I'm getting better intel than the president of the United States. I just really find that very hard to believe that I know this, but the president doesn't. If we know Israel was the ones working Epstein and the scumbag CIA is the ones working Epstein and all the rest of why aren't they being blackmailed with the blackmail? Because Trump's not doing things I want. Like, let's say Trump was like, hey, we got these blackmail files. Let's make these lizard people do the right thing for us, right? And maybe you could try to justify it on a Scott Adams level that way. But I'm not seeing that. I'm seeing Trump being held by the balls. I'm not seeing him holding them by the balls.
That's exactly right.
Maybe there's something I'm missing, but I don't see it.
President Trump's former first buddy, Elon Musk, sensationally claimed there is a cover-up because Trump is mentioned in the Epstein files, something sources close to Maxwell say is a false flag. President Trump was photographed with Epstein several times, and they ran in the same circles, but Trump was one of the first to break all contact with Epstein because they fell out over a business deal and Epstein's treatment of women, the informed source says.
I believe him.
There are no big shocks about President Trump in the Epstein files, but there are a lot of powerful men involved and a lot of money, and it will come down to following the money.
I just felt an optimistic feeling, but I don't want to say because I don't want to jinx it, but I'm going to say it because it's ridiculous. You see how bad it looked for Trump to say that? So he made every effort to protect these people, right?
Yes.
And now if this stuff has to come out, they can't blame him that it came out, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's real pie in the sky talk, but I want everybody to understand what you don't have to wait for her to testify. You had Kathy O'Brien on. Go read her book, which was testimony that got classified under national security, but you can read it in her book. Everything's out there. It's all been disclosed. So go look at it. Why don't you look at it? You know what? Nobody does because they don't want to. They still want to think that maybe the government, they could vote and it will change. And then your career... it's all out there. Don't wait for them to verify it. You need authority to go, yes, this is true before you believe it. You must be a cow.
Over to Steph. Oh, you know what? Wait. I do want to remind people, if you want to hear my new Epstein jokes, you can see me this Thursday in Toronto, Friday in Red Bank, New Jersey, Saturday in Northampton, Massachusetts, Sunday in Concord, New Hampshire. Go to jimmydore.com for a link for tickets. Hey, come see us on tour. We're going to be in Toronto, Red Bank, New Jersey, Northampton, Massachusetts, Concord, New Hampshire, Oxnard, California, Rutherford, New Jersey, New York, Edmonton, Calgary, and Vancouver. Go to jimmydore.com for a link for tickets.